Do you feel safe being out in South Africa?
No.
Okay.
Definitely no.
That's hard.
Do you feel safe being out in South Africa?
I have
Definitely
like a
no.
very weird mixture because I think I feel safe in certain spaces, right? But I also have to be very clear because I know how privileged I am because I hang around in circles that are like fairly well educated, very secure and have lots of access to information. So it feels secure, but it's when you find yourself in situations where you can't manage the situation yourself, like public transport, going to like government services, like having to do stuff that you can't necessarily like pay your way out of or like send someone else to do or whatever. That you feel you really know that they like it's coming for you. Like I had an incident where I was walking in town and I was wearing a fairly scandalous pair of jeans and a taxi driver just decided to let everyone know in the immediate area how offended he was that I was wearing those jeans, and my immediate response was to take him head to head on it and go toe to toe with him. And I realized that actually I'm one outnumbered, two, I'm in a space where I have absolutely no allies here. So what would have happened afterwards has been completely downhill for me.
I think we just know, like all of us are not like that safe. Like everybody's not everywhere, whether it's South Africa, like everywhere. So I don't feel safe. How do you feel?
I don't know. It's weird with trans people because I don't like to use the word, but for those of us who do pass, it's like a word that's sort of. But for those of us who do pass, you sort of have it easier. Again, I suppose it's like checking your privilege at the door type of thing. Because wherever I go, people just sort of like assume that I'm just a cis woman.
Yeah.
So it's safe, yes, but it's safe because of a false impression that they're under.
Yeah.
So I've even had people sort of like I'll be in a queue and a guy will make a derogatory comment to me about a gay guy who's obviously very gay and obvious and flamboyant. And he'll be like disgusted at this person and he'll make a comment to me. Like
not knowing,
not knowing because he thinks he's just talking to this lady
girl
in this queue, who's just like getting. So it's a bit weird. The whole being out thing, because you're out, yes, but you just sort of like become a part of the society, and until you disclose.
Is that being out?
No, it's definitely being out because I'm not hiding, but you know what I mean. So it's like it's weird because it's almost like you've gone and
from one box to another,
and assumed. It almost looks like I've assumed the role of those the oppressors.
Yeah.
So
because you pass as the oppressor.
Because I pass as the oppressor. Yeah. So it's a bit weird, but when you are in spaces where, and this is why I don't like being hit on in public at all. I hate it with all my heart because I know what they're thinking. Every time someone hits on me, they think, "Yo, I found a wife." I'm calling uncles. So every time someone hits on me, it doesn't matter how hot you are. I will say no because also I've done it. I've been in situations.
I think you're getting there.
I've been in situations also where like a person will hit on me thinking I'm a cis woman, and then I like play along with it, and like I'll go on for long. I remember my sister saying to me, "There's a word and there's a whole show about people like you. It's called catfish." But catfishing them, they came to me. It's just and then I'd have to tell them, and it would be awkward, and then I just decided that I don't like telling them. I don't like having to explain. So I'm just gonna say no to every single person, and I'll probably like miss out on love. And I'm just like, it's fine. It's safe. But also trans people also by not outing themselves, because we also have a way of outing. For us, outing is telling a prospective partner that, oh, by the way, I wasn't born this way, and it does also put you in a dangerous position, because then you get to this guy's bedroom or hotel, and then he sees that you have what he has, and then it's tickets, So it's important to be out. Aside from what's the question? Is it safe? And for us, from my trans perspective, it's important.
I think what's ironic
on Leroy's point, it goes in the space, and I used to have to check my I want to say my privilege because of how I've been raised, but I was also trying to check, like, am I classist? Because I honestly would rather be in spaces where people are, I want to use the word educated, but have grown up in a background where even if they are homophobic, they know to keep it to themselves because it might affect their careers or it might affect this or this or that. And for me, I don't care what you think. I just want to be safe. And I think in another aspect, it's Or I remember a situation like in Brie, taxi ranks, and for me it was, when I do pass as a cis male, do I deepen my voice so these taxi drivers don't see?
Yeah.
Or do I make my voice a bit more high pitched so they think, no, I'm just dressed like this? It's always a catch-22 for me. It's like, what's safer in this situation?
Yeah. And also,
what's ironic with that?
Sorry, Khumo, you find yourself having to do those things. I even know how, like, the way I dress is, especially publicly, is to pass off as just a really well-dressed male. Because sometimes you also find that you get sort of unsolicited, like, attention from, like, cis women who will come in and be like, hey, I've got a daughter, can, and just like, I'm not there, and having to come out all the time to you is also problematic, but if all I have to do is just play along until the taxi ride is done, then it's fine,
You know what's ironic with that? Like, the whole Brie North situations, like, I'd climb into a taxi and they'd be like, hey, daughter, and I look back and I'm like, askis, and they're like, oh, Mfazi, I'm so sorry, it's just so weird, like, it's such a weird predicament to be in, because you're not sure if you should be like, yeah, daughter, like, you're deep, like, you're inside always like, oh, no, daughter, you'd rather just be like, no,
because
actually, give me a side.
when they find out that you sort of like catfish them, then they become so angry.
They become
like,
upset.
oh my, you should have said something. Like, why didn't you?
Especially
high
taxi
pitch?
drivers.
Yeah.
Especially taxi
The
drivers.
voice thing is a very real thing for me as well in taxis, because I would get to a taxi and they'd greet you like Dumelang Mama, which is how you would greet an older lady, and then because I have a very deep voice though, and then like I've had incidents where I've like left my change in the taxi because I didn't want to like have to remind them. Because if I have to say, oh, by the way, you still haven't, like, then it'll be like, who said that? Where did that come from? Did it come from behind those lashes?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, so I also try to like have the exact money as well, because the voice thing, like usually, that's how I usually catch people. Like, I'll be quiet the whole time and they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah. And then I'll open my mouth and it's like, wait.
I don't know. I've never felt safe whatsoever. Hence, literally grew from a backbone to a whole bitch bone. You really, in these streets, bro, you really need to have a bitch bone. So I feel like, when you just give in, like, whatever happens. I've been mugged 5 times. I've been counting, bro. And it's not a matter.
Do you think they mug you because they see that you're gay and there's
I don't know, because I am flamboyant.
Beer and whatnot.
I am flamboyant. I don't change because I'm in Sandton, or I'm flamboyant in ghetto, baby. So when I get to Sandton or wherever, I'm me. So I feel like, because the stigma of, gays have money and we will never be safe. Ever. Because now everybody thinks we have money. Oh, if only they knew. If only they knew. I think I'm a gay. We're not all rich, trust you me. Bagqwele emagwenyeni mntasekhaya ekuseni. Yes, weekends, Sandton. During the week, dusty streets of Soweto.
I think it's problematic because also the spaces are very important, but I think also, just generally speaking, even if something does happen to you, it's so difficult for you to go and do something about it, right?
Yeah.
Because you always going to find yourself in a position where that secondary and following the victimization will always happen. You always find yourself having to go, okay, so what happened was that Khumo said something to me or hit me or did this because I am gay, and then they say, but why are you gay? And so, but that's not the point. The question here is not about,
what I
mean? And even the way and I always go back to the legal aspect of it, because I feel like the only thing that we have in our favor is this very dynamic constitution, right?
Yes.
It's like, it's really, really cool, and we've got like laws in place, but unfortunately, people who implement the laws are not educated. They're not educated on the laws that they need to implement. So we find ourselves in a situation where you're constantly having to first be like, okay, let me educate you why it's wrong. Let me tell you why it's illegal, and now what you need to do is do your job, right? So I've given you the tools to do your job, and we've never actually realized that the way the law is doesn't really make you safe, because for instance we have bathrooms that say male, female, disabled.
There's unisex as well though.
There's unisex, but even then unisex bathrooms are problematic. But unisex bathrooms are very problematic, like Starbucks for instance in Rosebank. They have one restroom, and if you come in and then
what's a unisex bathroom? What kind of bathroom is that?
It's a bathroom.
But that's problematic because some people don't feel comfortable in those spaces, because
especially straight women.
Like, can I ask something? Which bathroom do you use?
Female all the time.
Female. So you've never encountered a point where like you walk out, somebody notices that trans, and they go like, why?
Actually, ironically,
like,
walked into
do you
a
know,
bathroom and they called security on me. They were like, security, there's a man in the bathroom, and I stepped down and I'm like, but I'm a woman. so I'm going to use the woman's bathroom.
Exactly.
But who the hell calls security on a woman going to a bathroom just trying to pee? Like, it's not that deep. Like, I'm just trying to let go and let God. Come on now.
If there's like, the family bathroom.
Yeah.
That's always like my first choice.
Yeah.
That's
But in
it.
restaurants and clubs, there is
Nah,
no
use
family bathroom.
both.
So
Whether I'm
tricky.
on heels or not, ke ya ka feeling yaka. If I feel like I'm a male and I want to stand, whether I'm on heels or not, I will go inside male.
Come all the way
And
through.
and of course inside they're gonna perform and Bona, you will act. I have landed.
But not everyone has that strength of character.
Yeah, and
because
that's the thing. Like,
And I wanted
That's
to
not
ask you
the
about
parts that I
what you said
can
earlier on about you do not change, doesn't matter what environment you're in. Don't you think it would be safer for you to sort of change your personality or to tone it down depending on your environment? Or do you think that's selling out and being two-faced?
I will never ever on earth tone who I am, because first and foremost, oh my gosh, they've used every word in any dictionary if there is, to demean us, to say the worst of things to us while growing up, So now I have everything. I have a say about my life, And honestly, another thing why I love bodybuilders type of thing is because I know I'm fragile, and here I am very, very not vile per se, but I'm very vocal, So wherever I am, I make sure I'm with my boyfriend, so I can always be me.
this is
Security,
babe,
hello.
To your point, like in terms of that you don't have to tone yourself down to accommodate other people. Like normally, I feel that way more, especially because like in my hood. But then there's points where I'm like we all have that experience. It's either a group of guys.
Ooh.
Honey, I do not care how flamboyant you are and how, there's a point where you feel like, am I walking fine? Am I okay?
Yeah.
Is my, you already at the point, and then the moment you pass them, that's when now, I don't know this
Side.
because it's either they're going to make remarks, or there's always going to be that silly thing, they're going to keep it quiet and look at you, and immediately when they keep it quiet, you're like, what are they saying? And when they speak again, it's also annoying because it's like, hello, my babe. Stu's like, hey,
But because the other thing is that not many people in their spaces have to deal with having to encounter sort of those occasions just in normal life, right? Like waking up, going to the corner shop to go buy bread and milk, and you have to be very aware what you're wearing. You need to okay, let me just so I can just get back into the house and do what I need to do and watch my series or whatever, I need to do these things. And you end up taking, I know this, I've got some subconscious measures, like I'm tracksuit and hoodie in the hood because I'm just I'm not trying to explain things, and you find having to come drive out somewhere, or you need to dress up the way you feel comfortable, and you have to make a stop. You have to go fill up the car or whatever, and you have to get out the car and you're like, ish, I know what's going to happen. I have to now go and deal with a cashier, a petrol attendant, or whoever's going to make remarks. And all I'm trying to do is just get on with my damn life. And I think primarily, I think the safety issue is less about actually because we've heard all the horror stories of being gay bashed. So we're just trying to if I can just avoid it, maybe I should just implement those things. Because also when you don't,
I think I dress accordingly because you need to blend in. You need to sort of not draw as much attention to yourself because you want to just carry on with your life. You want to just go do the stuff that you set out to go do, right? Red carpet, out with friends, when I've got the protection. But when I'm trying to buy milk, trying to go fill up the car, trying to go pump my wheels, the last thing I want to do is be an activist. So I just dress so that I can just blend in.
Can I ask something besides is it safe? Coming out, in terms of coming out, don't you find it annoying because probably like Lavendayda, maybe you're at the store or something, and because you're out, you get those stupid things hi Chumi, how are you? Doesn't that annoy you?
On that point of people
everybody
just
feels
putting remarks.
you want to be a friend, or you're a joke, or you pass by as a gay person and girls will be Chumi, hey,
but on that point of putting out remarks, it's like it's like I was at Broad Acres, the spa in Broad Acres, and I was walking by with my colleagues, and we're walking straight into the shop, and this construction worker is like, you better look out, and he just grabs my arm. I'm like, you actually better not touch me.
Yes.
You know, who the hell do you think you are touching me? You get what I'm saying? It's just like it's so uncomfortable walking around homophobes that still think in that stereotypical way that a queer needs to be correctively raped, a queer needs to be correctively set. You know, it's just such an uncomfortable feeling, and I feel like, you know, our safety is really up to us as well. So corrective rape in South Africa is when a man feels that he can rape you in order for him to correct your sexual orientation or put you back into what society deems normal.
Black women are afraid of it mostly because of demographics. So it affects everyone. But there's an extra level of fear that a lot of queer women have.
Like I have a taser, I have a pepper spray because I know what environments I'm in, like not like Brie, like taxis, like Ubers actually. You know, you never know if the Uber driver feels like this person is intimidating my masculinity.
You know, I got into a hijacking outside my house, right? And I was sort of taken with the car.
Whoa.
And I remember consciously in the back seat asked me who was in my house that it's just taken me from. Where do I come from? Where's my girlfriend?
Are you blindfolded?
No, I'm in the back of my car, so I'm lying on the floor in the back seat. But my point is that even then I had a story immediately. No, my girlfriend is living in KZN. I'm going back next week.
Your
I just
voice
came to deliver
had to be
things.
deep as well.
I even went as far as, you know, in the house there's my dad, my uncle, and my younger brother, all males. If you come back, you will find males there. You know, even because I knew if they had an inkling that there was anything going wrong, even when they were going through my stuff in the back seat, I was like, oh my god, don't go through my bag, because in my bag you might find things that will be very clear that, you know, you're not a cis male. And it's so weird that even when you are in those situations like that are, you know, normal trauma situations, your trauma is still amplified because you realize that it's a hijacking, I might make it out, but if I don't make it out of this, I want to at least make sure I don't get raped in the process. Because you don't know, I'm here now, I'm in this dangerous situation, and it could get even worse for me. So I think the spaces, the trauma is so much more widened for us because even in the traumatic experiences themselves, like a secondary and like
a third
layer to it.
What I've found is, for me, one of the most difficult things, and I don't know if maybe I just suffer from like high levels of anxiety, but like even the most mundane tasks, some of them become very difficult. Back to your thing about the toilets earlier on, I do use the female toilets, but also I don't always use, there are times when if I'm dressed too simple, like if I'm just wearing tracksuit pants and a hoodie, and that day I feel like I don't pass, then I won't use any bathroom, because also getting, like, you have no idea how scary it is to get into a female bathroom and to be standing in this sort of queue because all the cubicles are occupied, and the fear that you have that someone is going to say, what are you doing in this bathroom? You have no right, because also cis women because cis women believe they own womanhood. You know, they feel like they're entitled to it, and they're the gatekeepers of it, and they determine what is and isn't a woman. So as much as I always use female bathrooms, there are instances where if I'm not dressed, if I didn't make an effort, then I hold it. Then it's fine. It's fine. I'll pee at home.
Matata.
It's scary. It's actually very scary.
I don't want to make other people uncomfortable, even though it makes me uncomfortable. So I have to act like I'm on the phone to speak so they can hear my voice and realize, no. You know, there's no guy in the park. You know, Leroy's point about your trauma always being a bit extra. You know, I mean, as a woman, you know, we already do walk around. I mean, we know South Africa. We already fear sexual assault and whatnot. But I mean, sometimes it's like, I should be extra nice, or I should just focus on my life, because then it's like...
But even when you're focusing on your life, you still get that remark, that...
Exactly, you know, but then you're thinking,
attack.
oh my gosh, corrective rape, and you're like, oh my God, I did not sign up for this, not today. I'm just trying to go about my day. And I think, was it last week? Last week, there's some guys that like sit outside like the sort of estate that I live in, walk out, you know, and I mean they're always trying to start conversation, and I'm always confused. I'm like, why are they doing this? Like, I mean, gay doesn't have a look, but at some point you can
Yeah.
assume.
Yesterday
Yeah.
I walked into a shop and this guy spoke in Zulu. He's like, no, women need to be corrected. But he said it in like Zulu.
Yeah.
And I kind of like just looked at him, looked away, and I was just like,
And that
okay,
fear
it's my
is
cue
like,
to go.
ooh.
Because he's a Zulu man, first and foremost.
foremost.
And if he feels like he wants to strike, he will.
He will.
Yeah.
Because that's the entitlement they have as people. I think one of the most ignorant for me personally is the Zulu tribe, because you know Zulu men are very confident, arrogant, and kind of like very entitled to female bodies in South Africa because of how they're raised in terms of patriarchy, in terms of them being the male figure in the house, head of the house. That's just kind of like the presumptions they have with regard to the human race.
And I look at my arm.
I think that's the
I don't
same
have the
because
strain.
I've also experienced something like that. I remember where we used to stay with my mom, who just recently moved in there. And do you know these guys, Baba Mta Marashi?
No.
You don't know, like those that kill people and all that. So there were, I don't know, like from where we were staying, they had like this other squatter camp and whatnot. So normally they'll, if their store is closed, they'll come beside. So I was at the store and this guy said to me, "Do you know that Batwatona literally in front of me?" Like I was like, "Sorry?" I was like, "People like you, and I was like, "People like me," and I wasn't, you know, and I wasn't dressed like.
Yeah.
But obviously when you speak,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow. Literally, the second day I left, I don't stay there anymore.
But do you find that there's like also like assumption politics that happens, right? That you, when in these spaces where you feel unsafe, you also sort of get confused of why you feel unsafe. So because like as a queer community, we have all these like intersectional prejudices that happen with us. You're female, you're black, and you're queer, and you've got all those prejudices that sometimes you're not sure which it is, and you often always deviate to the one that's sort of more accepted, right? So I'll always go, oh, they don't like me because I'm black, you know, or I'm struggling at work because my boss doesn't like black people, and because you want to go and say, but it's a gay thing, like you don't like me because I'm black and I'm gay, and go back to your point about, you know, you're female, Buhle, and you need to be like checking out, are you must know I'm female, right? So are you trying to get me into your circle because you're like, okay, you're one of the boys, or are you trying to like mock me so you can get me
Or are you
closer
trying
and
to take
hurt
my
me?
girlfriend? Or are you trying
To hurt me?
Exactly.
I don't know what
It's
it
such a
is.
catch-22.
And I always find that my assumption is always to be like even more accepting or more delicate with them, you know, more understanding. No, it's a black thing, and it's fine for it to be a black thing because, you know, rather black than queer.
So weird.
Because it happens all the time with people, like they see you, they know you're gay, or some, like they tell their friends he's gay. And even those, some who didn't know, now know you're gay, and they take it as a joke, or they want to make it a joke, and the next thing you know, it's just one of those things that are very irritating.
So, I mean, we were at a party and safety vibes, oh, the worst. And of course, it's in the ghetto. But in the ghetto, you know, I am more comfortable and so forth. But however, there are things, and you must just be conscious of, it's a talent, you know, in that situation of that zone or avenue. So, I was in the car, and of course, like, you know, as gays, we like guys and doing things to guys in night hours. Fine. How my friend literally disappears around 11 to 12. She disappears, and then I decide to go and he disappears. He disappears. So I literally go check for him. They literally in a passage nyanaji around the hood. I think maybe I was drunk. If not, I literally saw a pang moment. My friend is there, down, knees and all. Situation is happening. The guy, I don't know what was the end result for the guy with the panga.
So you've got two people who are
And your friend and the guy?
engaging,
My friend
engaging
and the guy.
in their activity.
Yes.
And the third person.
No, him.
The same guy
The same guy.
pulls out
The same guy pulls out a panga. Hear my screaming, Mungani, run! He had to literally believe, okay, we are unsafe and react promptly.
So
If he did not react promptly at that time, I don't know.
But you see, this is interesting for me because it comes to that whole point about even people have taken upon themselves to even pass as being gay, right?
Yes.
Just to get you into a corner so that they can
Of
have their
course.
way with
You know,
because for him to have gotten to that point where he's clearly engaging with this guy sexually,
He feels safe.
it means that like you have given me signs and I gave you signs and we spoke and we then said let's go to venue A so we can do our thing.
We are
And
just
him
never
didn't
say.
happen.
I remember. Do you remember Sizakele Sikasa, Salome Masoa, the lesbians that were married in Soweto? Like they even had this other date. It's like it was on July the 7th, 2007. They were married. What happened was apparently there was with this other guy they met, and that guy introduced, like, okay, not introduced himself as gay, but they thought he was gay, and they've been partying I think for a month or two. So what happened was that guy was actually plotting and seeing where they're going, what's happening. On that night, apparently he was like, he changed. He was straight and he was like coming for them and he killed them. Because what happened was apparently they from a party and we trust you, like you're a guy, you're a friend now, we thought you're gay. Only to find out that guy had an agenda, like raped them and killed them.
Yeah.
It's actually very sad. We're not safe, but also I feel like where or when does personal agency come into play? Because I know of a park in Guatemala in the East Rand where 11 lesbians in 9 years were murdered leaving the same club. You know, and we've had a discussion about this, and I remember a lot of lesbian women getting angry when we asked this question, but I'm like, after the 4th lesbian, after the 5th lesbian, why are you guys still going to the same club?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but they also then, I've turned it around to say, but you come from a sort of affluent area, you have a car, you have options, you can drive out to Maboneng or drive to Malvo or wherever. They were sort of trying to defend the fact that lesbians also have a right to a social life, and in our little community of Guatemala, this is the only place that we sort of that we have created for ourselves as a safe space. It's only when we leave and they walk at night in the wee hours, it's only when we leave that we get attacked. But also, I kept saying after the 5th, how did we get to 11?
But the thing
because
is,
clearly you guys are still frequenting this place,
True.
and the fact that lesbian women are being killed leaving this place is not enough to deter you.
But
you
remember,
know?
but also the
So
problem.
I think our personal agency should also come into play in terms of safety. We should account for our safety and stop going to places where they kill us.
Where we have your agency, it's fine, but I think the other issue is that, again, goes back to what I did in my trauma situation, where I didn't look at it as, oh my god, you know, it's a gay thing, I must just protect myself from a gay point of view. I was like, it's a male thing. So with them, I think it's also saying, but other females also get hurt there, other, you know, people get hurt there. So they dilute it. It doesn't seem to them necessarily that it's only a lesbian thing. From where we sit and we're like, but dude, we can see the pattern. Like, there's clearly something going on here. And I think for me, what we do as a community, it happens all the time. I mean, Melville is like a pit for it. At 2 o'clock when everyone leaves the club, you're sort of all like, okay, cool, bye, I'm getting in my car and getting away. And no one actually checks on their friends. No one actually checks on where you're going. Drop the WhatsApp, follow your location, whatever it is, because I think what we do as a community, we're so scared to even seem that we're vulnerable because, you know, it doesn't look cool, it's not sexy for us to be in the community that way. But if someone just says, dog, like, they say, well, I'm not feeling okay, can I drop you a line, can you just, you know, grab the Uber with me, can I band with you? Because I think we have to get to a point what, you know, with these apps that we get, like, you know, find my friend, follow my friend home, follow myself or whatever. My point is that as a community, we start finding our own way of looking after ourselves, because clearly we're not safe around straight spaces, clearly we're not safe in the broader world. We need to start working into the community to say, listen guys, okay, I understand, you might be lesbian, I might not get the lesbian thing as a gay man, but at the very least what I can do is go, come, you're part of the community, let me at least make sure you're safe getting to taxi rank.
But I think on a more personal level, I mean, I remember when I first started beginning of the year, I was like, okay, let me try waitressing and whatnot. And I think, I mean, I spent maybe 2 weeks there, and I think I was like almost in a situation, but I mean, I pulled a knife on that guy. Like, we're working at a restaurant. It was a knife. I was like, don't come for me. Don't come for me. We went upstairs to hand in like the money we had collected during the day to give it to the manager, and he is like pushing up on me, and I was not playing that game. I just took a knife, pulled it on him, and he backed away. I mean, he wasn't backing away. Luckily, the manager came up, and he wanted to be like to the manager, she's pulling a knife on me, and the manager was like, no, but I know your type of behavior, so I'm sure it's warranted. And then I quit my job the next day, you know. And I think I've twice almost been in such situations, and I'm lucky that I'm always like escape like in 2 seconds, you know what I'm saying. But I do have a friend that they were going to the shops to buy bread. It wasn't even the club. It was during the day, in the morning. And they literally just nothing got stolen from them. They just got raped. They just got beat up. And that was it. Money, phone, everything, they had it. And I think, but then the other thing that arises for me is I make a plan to party where I know I'm safe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's a very elitist thing sometimes amongst the queers, you know.
Yeah.
We're safer and we're all together in places where it costs an arm and a leg.
To be there.
So
Yes.
what are we saying to people who can't afford that? You can't afford to be safe. So
Screw you.
My thing to keep myself safe is I'd rather not go out. Like I'm a bit extreme
That's
in that
simple.
way.
That's me.
If they kill a person at a place that
Unless
I
I'm, like,
happen to
hosting,
enjoy,
but
I am
yeah.
never setting foot there again. And if it happens to be the only place that I can have fun at in my area, then it's fine. Then you can miss me with the fun. There is not, because my safety is. I'd rather be alive and boring and bored
Which is sad that we have to get to that point.
to be
Yeah.
having a good time and die. I would much rather stay at home and stay alive than turn up and turn up dead. Maybe my need to socialize is not that strong as well. And other people feel the need to sort of push past that fear and still say, I'm just going out for 2 days.
That's cool.
You know, just for
But also
drinks.
they're banding in numbers, because I know that I also have like my place where I go to, and as you say, you know, we pay a premium for safety, which is unfortunate. But then what else can we do? Because I want to go out, Buhle and I want to chat, want to go get into a space that we're comfortable, and even in those spaces, it's not guaranteed. It's just it's less likely.
It's just that it's more.
You're gonna have that issue, and you sort of. And in your mind, you say the same thing. I mean, I was at the Global Citizens concert, and I was in a crop top, and I was very, very aware that I was in a crop top, because every second person who, from security to all those people, they gave me stank eye all the way. And luckily, I had a band.
concert.
But that was a lot of
Exactly.
But you would think that in the Beyonce concert, like, oh, my people are there. But remember, the security people, they're not Beyonce concert goers. The people who were there, who were patrolling, the guys who were high, they don't care about that. They see soft targets, people who've got money, and let's grab you. And my issue has always been, you need to find a space where at least you don't feel like you're an out target.
That's true. That's true. Also, how we dress, because people then say things like it's too provocative.
Yeah.
And they get triggered by how we dress. And if I find myself in a situation like that, then the next time if I do have to go to that area, best believe.
But where's the fine line between you having to dress the way that you want to leave the house and having to go to a space? Where's the fine line? Where's the boundary?
Like
you
when-
know, it's like you're sacrificing a portion of yourself just to accommodate people that you barely know, but
The
you
rent,
actually also think about
in crisis,
Think about
whether
the
you say you don't party, regardless
We're in
whether
crisis
like
mode.
what you were saying, your friends got raped and beat up going
But
to
of
the
a
shop.
couple.
So it's not even about
Regardless
partying.
whether you go partying, whether
What
like
daylight.
anyway, anytime.
But you can
can
mitigate those things. I
homophobia.
think that what we're saying is that you can mitigate them, because right now we're in crisis mode, right? When you're in crisis mode, you don't do things that are rational or will give you all the autonomy. You're just trying, and that's what we're all trying to do, just to survive, get into work, get my paper, come home, pay this rent.
Crisis mode is basically you being in a situation where you feel like a gun is being pointed to your head. That's what the LGBTQIA plus society in South Africa feels like. They feel like they have a gun pointed to their head and you have to move fast.
Sometimes we just need to get by. When you're in crisis mode, all of that sense just goes out the window. Decisions made in real time are completely justifiable, I think.
Be safe.
So just be safe. And unfortunately, we're at a point now, we've been failed by government. The NGOs are strapped. The resource centers are strapped. There's no money. We're all struggling so much. And at the very least, just for Buhle to get a home, Buhle must do
It's a
whatever she
mission.
can to just go, I just need to go home. And
It's a
sometimes it
mission.
means more expensive. Further, Gautrain, which costs R1 billion.
Yeah.
You need to Uber from here to wherever,
Yeah.
because it's $1 billion. And even then in the Uber, at least I'm facing one
Yeah.
guy in the Uber. whereas
But
I've
you
got
never know if he
50
has a
people
gun
attend.
because a lot
Oh,
of
and
these
that,
Uber
but my
drivers
point
have
is, my
guns.
point is that
That's
the
very
numbers
true.
are, you start weighing your odds going, there's no safe space, but at
There's
least in
no
Uber
safe
is
space.
safer. You know, me going to Eastgate to hang out with you is much safer than going to CBD, for instance.
Facts on.
Actually, I just remembered another incident where I was in a taxi, and in fact, this is all in my mind. When I do decide to write a book, my book will probably be called "The Only Tranny in the Train," "The Only Tranny in the Taxi," because I was the only female in the taxi, and there were 4 guys who didn't know each other. They all came in at different points, you know. And at one point, one of the guys just like made a joke, but said, you know, we could like literally park this somewhere and have our way with her, right? We could do that. These are guys that don't even know each other, and they sort of banded together. That's how, and they didn't even know that
because
I was a trans
I think a lot of
anything,
masculine figures in South Africa encourage one another. So
yeah, absolutely.
They encourage this behavior because, like, I went to Kitcheners one time with one of my queer friends who looks very femme, and this guy spanked her ass, and everybody in the bathroom was like, yeah. It was very like encouraging of that kind of mannerism, and which for me is like even the male figures are not taking responsibility for themselves. Hence, they go on Twitter like, you're calling us men are trash, but we see you as trash because you're encouraging such appalling behavior amongst one another. So it's like it's up to us to be like, hey, booty, like just chill, you know.
And even in those spaces as well, making sure that when we're in those spaces, we own those spaces. I think more and more spaces that we own, we become more and more comfortable in them, and then we have more of them. Like, I mean, even with Great Dane, I sometimes feel like when you get to Great Dane, you're in like a world of things, because also the straights are there as well. So maybe just managing where we go, just for now, until the crisis is over.
Yeah.